You can see where I cut out pictures and put them over the fireplace. And the person that that's all I knew of at the time, the person that I cut out of a magazine to say, this is kind of looks like the guy that was the mixed race leader, was at the time, there was a guy, the tennis guy, thank you, Arthur Ashe, who was a very light black man, very classy, yeah, he was very thin, and I knew I had to make somebody look like him. And now, if you see the picture I have, of Arthur Ashe, you go, oh yeah, they do look alike. So I knew this doll was too heavy. But at the time, I didn't know about, this is a Fisher-Price doll. All their joints move. They cost about at least $10 each, maybe 15 or 20 now. And I was at the Goodwill one day. I love to go to Goodwill and buy things for people. I felt like I was king of the world. I go in, I could buy anything here. So I saw a doll, which was not this one. The first one I don't have with me. I saw her and I said, wow, that's the general's wife. And I bought that one. And then I said, well, I could buy a gob more. I could buy one of all the people I know that I remember. So this and this in real life is the same doll.
They don't look a thing alike.
This is an identical doll. I happened to find two that day, and I said, oh, this one looks like the mother-in-law that lives in the White House, which it did back then. She has glasses, and her hair was sort of still kind of...
I thought it was buckwheat.
But I knew that she lived in the White House. Okay. So I said, well, he's the only man I've seen. I'm going to use this doll, even though I made this one into a woman. I made this one into a man, and this was Obama, and I knew that he was too thick. And I took the best I could, because it's pretty hard plastic. And I ended up, if you look at him, you can see where I cut his cheeks off, trying to make him thinner. He needed to look thinner. And I made a hole accidentally. Like if you take a real good razor knife, if you do crafts, I was cutting off his cheek trying to make him look thinner, and oh, there's a hole. So I had to patch it. But I knew he needed to be thinner. So that's Obama.
Quick question.
Yeah, anything.
Did you know he was called Obama or just mixed race leader?
I did not know his name.
Obama.
No.
Okay. Now, Mary Beth refers to him as mixed race leader.
Yes, she does.
Okay. When I was in Cuba during the time of Castro, the people there would not give Castro the respect of saying his name. That was their way of, and so they would even make the motion of a beard, but not ever say his name. And that came to me when I heard you talking about that. Maybe they just didn't. They knew his name, but they wouldn't.
It was an insult.
Because actually, you think about Obama's abomination. It's just
yes,
like you're playing into.
And that wasn't his real name anyway. We know his name was Barry Sartoro.
Exactly.
But I'll pass that around if you want to see him. And then I made her. That's Grandma. Do you know?
Is she the one in the witchcraft?
Yes. And she lives in the White House, but now she's glamorous. She's had plastic surgery, facelift, and straightened hair. And if you see her now, she's pretty cool. But she wasn't back then.
Is Michelle a man or a woman?
I can't tell you.
No, I mean, there's a lot out there that says...
There's a lot of people saying stuff like that.
Let me tell you what I do know. But this is from study, because I started studying like crazy. It's possible she is just like Venus and Serena Williams.
Yeah.
Absolutely were born girls. No, they were born boys, and the daddy was a tennis instructor and said, if I can make these into girls, they'll win and I'll get rich. So he told them from when they were little that they were girls, and he did all. Anyway, it's possible because she knew, that Michelle's dad, that's dead, he died of MS, was a drug dealer and very high, and you know that the two children which I saw at the very beginning, I saw two girls. But you know that the only birth certificate they've ever found for the daughter is for the young one, who's now tall, but at the time she looked like that. And she was born in Morocco at the day and time that they say, but her birth certificate is from Morocco, and they weren't there at the time. So maybe none of them are related. I don't know. Okay, so
But that would make sense.
But Joan Rivers lived in that realm, and she said, but,
and suddenly got killed.
yeah.
Bingo.
Oh, so she said about Michelle.
Yeah, she said everybody knows, but see, she lived in that realm, and she wasn't judging, because she embraced them, but.
Okay, so, and you know the story about when Father told me to come to Cuenca? Okay.
I don't know if Roland has heard it, hasn't heard it.
Pretty doggone close.
He said specifically, Cuenca. I said, I don't know what word you're saying. I don't know how to spell it. I don't know where it is. And it was a very big conversation that I remember. He said, I want you to, because
Had you been seeking?
when I had this vision in 1999, I knew that I was not going to be able to stay the rest of my life in the USA.
After you had that?
Yes.
So how long have you been here?
3 years, almost 3 years. Getting ready for citizenship.
Okay.
He
So will
told
you take a passport? What? Will you take a passport? An Ecuadorian passport?
do I have an
Are
Ecuadorian?
you going to get
Yes. Yes. It's expensive to get Ecuadorian citizenship, but there are a lot of advantages.
Compared to other countries, it's not expensive at all.
Yeah. New Zealand, it's $250,000. So,
And how much is it here?
so after you're here and you have your permanent resident
And you
visa,
have to stay here, what, 9 months out of 12? Don't you?
well, I think it's more than that now. You can only have 9.
3 years?
That's right, 90 days.
3 months in 3 years.
Yeah, a total of 90 days.
That's,
You're exactly
is.
right.
That's no travel time.
No.
Right. No playtime. So, and I've never left for one day. Because Father told me.
But when things get really bad, you're not going to travel, let me tell you. You're going to have vaccinations to get on an airplane.
Oh, I know. We feel it because
Or a jet.
we are in the air all the time.
So, 3 months out of the year here that you can travel, it's nothing. And to get citizenship, we did it.
Do we have 3 years?
Well, that's a good question.
Well, are you the bride? You might go, you are?
Yeah, I believe I am. If I get myself ready, I'm the wise. I believe with what God has shown me.
I don't
We've got
know
to get
anybody
cleaned up.
You can't have any sin in your life.
I know.
You can't have any resentment, any unforgiveness. You can't have any where you have to hesitate before you obey.
I know.
I mean, if Father
work to
said,
clean up.
stand on your head right on this table right now, you'd have to say, yes, sir, and go to it.
And give me some angels to help me.
Yeah. but yes.
But He gives us the grace once He puts His finger on something.
Okay, so he told me from 1999 that I would not be able to stay in the USA if I wanted to follow him and be really his. Now, I won't spend time on this, but I adore my grandsons.
So what,
I understand
what,
that.
I'm just curious as to what prompted you to wait that span of time before you decided to
Were you just
3 years
seeking
ago?
during that time?
The whole
where to
time
go?
I was looking for other. Hadn't heard where yet.
Oh,
He
you just
told
knew
me
you had to leave.
I had to leave, but I was waiting for where. A girlfriend of mine I belonged to a Bible study where a girlfriend of mine came in one day and said, "You guys, I had a full-out vision." And it was because she was, more than anything in the world, she was a mother. I mean, she was Christian and she was a business owner, but she was a mother. He had 3 kids when he met her. She had 3 kids when she met him. They got married and had 3 more kids. So they had 9 kids.
Wow.
She loved being a mother. And in her vision, she saw that one day while the kids were at school, something horrible happened, and she got in the car to go get her children from school, and the people barred her at the door and said, "You may not come in." She said, "I've got to have my children," and they said, "No, they're safe, they're with us." And she never got her children. She said, "We're out of here." So she sold her business, he sold his business, they sold all their real estate. From this vision, she had one vision, but it can do that. I'll tell you, when you have a vision. So they moved to only place they knew of at the time that they would be able to function because they spoke English was Belize. And at the time, I looked and said, well, Father, do you want me to move to Belize? At least I'll have friends. And he said, no, that's not for you. So I had to wait more. It was very frustrating. Well, when do you want me to go? And like I said, I'm not going to belabor this, but you just can't know how much I love my grandsons.
I do.
They
I do.
I got to have them every week. I taught them how to read. We sat on the floor and played Legos. They tell me all their secrets. To this day, because we have Magic Jack that you can talk on the phone for free, they call me all the time and tell me what they're, I think this teacher is not fair with me, or I got a B and I'm real upset. Gabriel, the older one, said, Gigi, they call me Gigi for Grandma. Gigi, I have a fear that today at basketball I am going to purposely trip somebody so I can win.
That's getting deep.
I know. They have both been baptized because they, on their own decision, they got saved and wanted to be baptized. They can quote their books of the Bible. The older one, who's 11, is in his 3rd year of Latin. They're special children. They're beautiful manners, very loving. The smaller one just got his report card yesterday, and it was all A+, A's, and A-. And I said, honey, I want to buy you a treat. What would you like? He said, you don't have to waste your money. These are good boys. I have no sisters and brothers.
Leave them was...
Mom and Dad are gone. I have nothing. I've been a widow for 26 years. Those boys were my life. I would be happy to die for them. And I had to leave them? Father said, leave. And I did. And I'm here. But I had to wait until he told me where. So he says, Cuenca, Ecuador. I said, I don't know how to spell it. I don't know what you're saying. So in our conversation, he said, and listen to me. I need you to, he said this to me, I need you to promise me you will never go back. I said, what, to a funeral or to a hospital bedside? Nothing? He said, never under any circumstances may you go back. Daniel asked me the other day, Gigi, does God still say you can't come back up? Yes, sir. He does.
Ever since I heard you on Rick Lyle, I've been praying for your protection because I just felt that you're under danger from the
I am.
government.
I am, and I didn't know that until later.
I carried my passport for 2 years waiting on God to say the day go, and we went. It was literally like we knew one night and left the next morning. But he didn't see it, but I did.
And we truly.
And I kept our passports.
The next day. I had 3 changes of clothes. Of course, we went back home.
And I had, yes. And I had the
Left everything behind.
cutest little ranch because I had prayed for years to Ruach, please give me a place that I can be like a monk or a nun or something with just you. And he did. And we talked. And I wrote Bible studies. And I got secrets told to me in my ear, like, if you want to be protected, just like the Passover, you leave Christian music, praise music on all the time, and that will act as blood over the doorpost for your house. Now, you want to tell? I could tell you how stupid I was, because I just talked to him. He talks back. We talk. I said, sir, I'm ashamed to say this. I said, sir, won't that cost a lot in electricity? He laughed and said, I'll make sure you have it. Was I stupid?
Well, we think naturally.
Yeah.
Probably made him smile.
I hope so. So I left, and I still do, leave Christian music on low, because I said, can I turn it down? Oh, well, anyway, so I've got the Bible verse where he said to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, can I turn it down? And he said, they can hear more than you can. They can hear. Even if you can't hear, they can hear. so the angels will protect me when I have Christian music playing. He told me that. So anyway, let me go back to my story. When I saw her as the mixed race leader's wife, I knew she was exceptionally tall. So I gave her 2 stands instead, because I put one on first and I said, that is not tall enough. So I put a second stand on her.
Well, she stood next to him to show the height.
And she loves diamonds and jewels. She's just really into jewelry. So that's the wife. And I knew they had, I just heard in my head, an unusually tall daughter. I saw her in blue jeans, and I don't know if I got the cake.
Michelle,
Yeah, it's Michelle. This was her 16th birthday. Now, how did I know that he had 2 daughters? How did I know that one of them was going to turn 16 while she was living in the White House?
That was the impressive thing, Rebecca, more than anything else I'd heard, was the fact that you got this complete vision and carved this stuff out.
Yes, I did.
And it takes time to do all this carving.
Yes, it does.
So it would have to consume your life.
Yes, it did.
But that God was speaking to us about a time frame.
But you know what? I got it all done in exactly 100 days from when I started to when I was done. All 25 feet. I worked on it from early to late. My house was, I've got a picture of what a mess my house was in. That 100 days was walking like in heaven. He sat beside me. I would say, well, do you like this? Do you want me to change it? He would tell me to change it. Or he would say, you did a good job. I have never before and never since heard him like that one time at Teresa's dining room table, but to have him right there talk. So yes, the fact that I have these.
Did it lift? Did the Spirit lift, the Holy Spirit lift somewhat after you accomplished what you were supposed to do?
A little bit.
And you missed it.
Oh yeah, I miss it now. I miss it now. I want to be able to turn to my best friend and say, sir, what do you think about this? I want to be able to fall in his arms. I tell him all the time, just let me sit at your feet. So this is their dog. People who are starting to catch on about this vision say, a lot of people have visions that say a lot of things, but nobody has proof. I have proof of all these. I have a photo that was taken in February, right before I got sick. February of 2000, of every bit of this. I was at the Goodwill and I saw this little dog and I said, oh, that belongs to that mixed race leader. My Bible study teacher at the time, Linda Simler, you may have heard her, she's very good and she knows dogs. I didn't. I had never had a dog. Mother said we had too many mouths to feed as it is. So I saw that dog, and when Linda Simler saw it, she said, that's the kind of dog they have.
And that was quite an ordeal, remember, to pick out the dog.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that.
Okay, so, and then I want to tell you, this is the last one that I brought. There are many hundreds of these.
What did you do? Stages? The same people in different stages?
When I typed for 19 and a half hours without stop, it came out chronologically because I wrote it as I saw it. And he gave it to me in, this is meeting the people, this stage 2, what would you call that? Scene 2 is the funeral, where the general dies. And he said, until this happens, you're not telling nobody. And I didn't.
But he let you have the proof.
Yeah,
So
yeah, oh yeah,
it
it's all
happened.
packed away, yeah. Okay, so yeah, this was in the attic after I got it done.
So you had never been involved in this kind of thing before, like dolls and